to infiltrate the organization as an undercover federal agent. Eager to know what happens next, right? But before we move to the story, let's have some fun with a trivia question. What's the most memorable friendship or camaraderie played in a manga, manhwa, or manhwa for you? Drop your answers in the comments below, and who knows, we might just bring you a recap of your favorite. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for the wildest ride. Shogo raised his sword to attack Yisu, but Baek Dogyeong intervened just in time. Dogyeong's sudden appearance caught Shogo off guard, and he warned Yisu that fighting would lead to tragedy. Dogyeong skillfully blocked Shogo's attack and pushed him away from Yisu. He teased Shogo about needing a lesson in their native language, hinting at his own superiority. Angered by the mockery, Shogo tried to strike back, but Dogyeong dodged effortlessly. Seeing the situation escalate, Dogyeong realized he needed to be careful, knowing he couldn't help Yisu, who was badly injured. Meanwhile, outside, a blade with Korean characters carried a message about the beauty of flowers regardless of their type. As the building was engulfed in flames, Wang Hao watched the fire, seeing it as a field of blossoming flowers. Turning to Shulan, who looked visibly battered, he remembered their shared past and the moment he gave her a blade, hoping she would flourish like those blooms. Placing the same blade on Shulan's shoulder, Wang questioned if she had fulfilled his hopes for her growth. Amidst the chaos, a convoy of vehicles arrived, signaling the arrival of Nine Blades Choi Chin-ho. Respected and feared, Choi wasted no time in addressing Wang, reminding him of a debt between them. Ordering his men to step aside and deal with other matters, Choi faced off against Wang, who welcomed the confrontation, ready to confront his past actions. With a history tainted by the death of the former captain of the Nine Blades at his hands, Wang stood firm, prepared to face whatever revenge Choi sought. In their duel, both fighters showed equal skill, their attacks unable to land on each other. Wang questioned Choi's supposed improvement, only to be met with a suggestion of his own decline. Undeterred, Wang retrieved his blade decorated with flowers, reigniting the battle with a renewed determination. As the clash intensified, Wang found an opening, delivering a decisive blow with his blade, slicing Choi. However, his triumph was short-lived as Choi swiftly retaliated, landing a powerful punch on Wang. Amidst the skirmish, Wang questioned Choi's motives, wondering if revenge was his sole purpose. Yet Choi's response hinted at a deeper agenda, suggesting their inadequacy for the newer generation's challenges. Meanwhile, a young boy valiantly defended against Nobuhiro, who refused to yield despite sustaining significant injuries. In the midst of the chaos, Yaksha emerged, instructing the young boy to assist Yisu. Sensing the impending confrontation, Nobuhiro challenged Yaksha, seeking a showdown. Their clash ensued, with Yaksha delivering a devastating blow, leaving Nobuhiro reeling from the impact. Yaksha's strike appears to have knocked Nobuhiro unconscious. Meanwhile, Choi, sensing the commotion, asks Wang about the noise. Wang, noticing the disturbance, casually comments that it does sound lively. Wang then jokingly tells Choi that with each word, he sounds younger. However, Choi explains that it's not about age, but about the younger generation getting closer to their goals with each spoken word. Wang gives Choi one last chance, urging him to give up everything he has, but Choi brushes it off with a light-hearted attitude. Soon after, they engage in another fight. This time, Wang keeps the upper hand, skillfully blocking every attack Choi throws at him. Not only does Wang defend well, but he also takes advantage of every opportunity to counterattack, gradually wearing down Choi's defenses. Eventually, Wang seizes an opening and strikes back against Choi's signature move, knocking him unconscious as he falls to the ground. When Choi wakes up, he acknowledges Wang's skill in drawing blood and says that the real battle has just begun. Choi proposes they continue their battle, prompting Wang to remind Choi that he must demonstrate resilience and reveal the true prowess of the Nine Blades. As they gear up for another round, the sudden report of a revolver interrupts their confrontation, signaling the arrival of the police. An officer quickly queries about the whereabouts of Jang Seong-ho, and the scene swiftly transitions to where Yisu is situated. There, Seong-ho finds himself locked in combat with Shogo, who effortlessly outmaneuvers him, reveling in his superiority. Seong-ho recognizes the cunning nature of Shogo's blade and resolves to block his attacks to regain control. However, his attempts end in failure as a newcomer intervenes, seizing Seong-ho and rebuking him for wielding what he deems to be an inferior blade. Shogo notices the arrival of another participant and questions their allegiance, only to learn they are affiliated with Yaksha. Meanwhile, Dogyeong finds himself embroiled in a difficult struggle against another adversary, while his opponent realizes Seong-ho's dominance. Acknowledging the danger to their leader, Seong-ho vows to return, determined to showcase his true abilities. Seong-ho then proceeds to slide and attack Shogo on the legs, but he is not used to this style of fighting, but as soon as Seong-ho is able to see Shogo's movements, he is fine. Seong-ho then attacks Shogo, but gets blocked. Though this time, Seong-ho notices that Shogo is left-handed, and so he decides to make him use his left hand to generate all the power while he will attack him from the left side. But the plan doesn't go accordingly as Shogo strikes his sword with left hand and grabs Seong-ho with the other. An unexpected event then unfolds as Yisu gets back up, makes his way to Shogo and proceeds to stab him with his blade, while mentioning that he has decided to kill Shogo. After being stabbed, Shogo bursts into hysterical laughter and questions Yisu's awareness of his actions. Meanwhile, Dogyeong watches as Shogo cuts off his own finger in response to Yisu's attack. Impressed by Shogo's resilience and swordsmanship skills, Dogyeong recognizes him as a formidable adversary within Uyama. Enduring such an injury and still fighting is undeniably impressive. While Dogyeong is distracted, the other man takes advantage and kicks him forcefully, knocking him to the ground. The attacker then heads to a deserted warehouse where he meets Lee and another person. When asked about his identity, the scene shifts to a flashback, revealing the man's visit to Rugasaki in the hospital. In the flashback, the man stands before Rugasaki, holding a bloodied blade. Rugasaki asks if he has been following Shogo. The man explains that he didn't specifically track Shogo, but is aligned with an organization called Uyama. He reveals that his allegiance comes from sharing ideals with Rugasaki and supporting Uyama's cause. The man then reveals to Rugasaki that after he left, Shogo took over for Kashira, and a lot has happened since then. After Rugasaki's absence, Uyama had to be broken several times, and it had become stronger as a result. So now, the one recognized by Kashira is without a doubt Shogo. Moreover, after Shogo took over the position of Kashira, Oyama has indeed shown exceptional growth. Meanwhile, in the present, the man introduces himself as Hainzawa Gunji, who is the representative of Chairman Tetsuji Uyama. He then tells manager Sung-ho that Tetsuji wishes to speak to him directly. Hainzawa then asks Shogo and the others to stop fighting for a moment. Tetsuji immediately apologizes to Sung-ho for the somewhat impolite greeting on their first meeting. Tetsuji then asks Sung-ho to choose his words wisely before speaking, or else he will have to make some calculations with Tetsuji directly. Tetsuji then reveals that Dogyeong and Shogo are both his beloved sons, even though there is discord in the family currently. Tetsuji then suggests disbanding and parting ways and offers ownership of the hotel as a gesture for Sung-ho's project. Tetsuji further mentions that from now on, the affairs there will be the independent actions of Shogo and Dogyeong and not Uyama. As Shogo expresses disappointment to his father, Tetsuji tenderly reassures him that his love remains steadfast, unwavering through every trial. He emphasizes that his affection for Shogo as a father has never faltered, even for a moment. Transitioning from familial sentiments to matters of allegiance within Uyama, Tetsuji challenges Shogo to satisfy him not as a son, but as a member of their organization. Meanwhile, Commissioner Jo Won-ho perceives the unfolding events with keen interest, sensing a shift in dynamics. He prepares to mobilize the police forces when suddenly Hainzawa intervenes, urging Jo Won-ho to reconsider. The events of that day ignite various emotions within each participant: feelings of shame, burning hatred, unspoken grievances, and smoldering remnants of conflict. These emotions become the fuel for a new fire, symbolizing the dawn of a new era. The torch, a beacon of this transformation, signals to all that the flame of change has been ignited. 2 years ago, a convoy